Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Fan Behavior. I am Zoe, here with Hannah.
Hi, we're matching.
I don't know if we seem different to you guys. I don't know if there's just like something about us that has changed.
Feels like something cool happened, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. Like, this is a podcast that has talked to their two favorite drivers. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. Like... Yeah. Not to brag or anything.
No.
No, this is our Ford Racing season launch 2026 recap episode, where we will be diving into everything we got up to in Detroit, Michigan, which is where they had the season launch. So much to get into.
So much.
I know a lot of you guys are just, so excited for us and so happy for us, which genuinely means so much to us.
It's so nice.
Truly. And we'll get into more of that as we get into all of it. I mean, should we just jump right in?
Yeah.
Like, is there anything else to even say?
No.
So I think we should give some backstory.
Okay.
For those who maybe you're a newer listener or whatever, but Hannah and I were invited to the Ford season launch last year in Charlotte, and that was super fun, where we got to interview Liam Lawson, the whole thing. And so I don't know if you were thinking about, like, back in the fall, did you think about, are we going to get invited to
Yes.
Okay. So I guess.
And I knew it would be an even bigger deal because it's the first season. Because last year it was announced that Ford would be the engine provider starting in 2026.
Yeah, we all knew it was going to happen.
And so I knew it would be like a big to-do.
Right.
And with Daniel's Ford partner, I was thinking about this for a very long time.
Well, yeah, I guess whenever they announced that they were going to be doing the livery reveals in Detroit at the Ford season launch for both Red Bull and for V-Carb, I was like, oh, that would be so cool to go to. But, again, I never want to be presumptuous or assume that we're going to get anything because we got it before,
I guess I was just like, I was more thinking about it in like not of, we're definitely going to be invited. Just I hope they do something again and that we make the list.
Yes.
That was what I was.
So I would say back in November is when we got the official invitation, probably right before we went to Vegas. I feel like was when we got the invitation.
Yeah, because we knew when we were in Vegas.
Yes. And so got invited, which was awesome. Said yes. And then in December was when we had a call with some of the people at Ford. And that's where it was kind of a, prep call. Here's who's going to be at the event, kind of what the weekend might look like, and then also asking us who we want to talk to at the event. And, they pull up the sheet of all the people that are going to be there. And of course, we instantly see that, well, it was actually Max and Daniel right next to each other, I think, on the sheet. And so, we obviously were like, yes, we love to talk to Daniel, Max, Isaac, all the Red Bull people, all the V-Carb people, Frankie Muniz, of course.
Our best friend.
He's family now, like, genuinely. Like, that's my brother. But
he's so nice.
But as we all, and I think I guess I should also say this too. This is kind of an aside, but some people were like, Zoe, how are you so calm? Or how do you seem to be so calm? I also want to say, like, I don't think know this about me. When we lived in New York, I was an entertainment journalist, and I interviewed not A-list stars, but I interviewed a decent number of celebrities.
You interviewed the Countess.
I interviewed Malia Delisov. I interviewed quite a bit of people, and so I have experience interviewing celebrities at various events, red carpets, phone calls, in person, yada, yada, yada. And I also understand, and I kind of know how last minute everything is, how you can be told you're going to get X amount of time. Actually, just kidding. It's this amount of time. Oh, your interview is going to be here. No, it's going to be there. Like I've been in this world, not in sports, but in entertainment. So I do have a good amount of experience with all of this. So
plus the reality is when it's happening, because when I did, and it's not that it's the same level, but when I was volunteering doing red carpet stuff, you don't really process it until after it's happened. Right. I didn't really process that I was standing around Adam Driver until we saw Adam Driver at Coda, and I was like,
oh, Coda, yeah.
This is the second time I've been this close to you. Like, you know what I mean? It's just, it doesn't necessarily, I think you kind of short circuit a little bit.
Yeah. So, but
I did.
I do have the ability to kind of lock in and just know, okay, because that's the other thing too, right? Like there's a difference between running into somebody on the street and that's where I get the most panicked is if I see a celebrity.
You don't have the prep time.
It's the prep time. And also I hate the feeling of, I'm interrupting their private personal time.
Yeah.
Whereas when I know we're going to talk to somebody and it's in a work environment, it's like, well, they're here to do a job. We're here to do a job. Yeah. And so I can kind of, it's easier for me to wrap my head around it, you know?
I also even get nervous, like, because you know when you see someone out and there's like an instant recognition in their face, like when you see someone and they clock that you recognize. I think we were walking in like when we were again New York, but like Upper West Side, and we saw Christian something.
Slater.
That's
Christian
what I thought.
Slater,
okay,
yeah.
And we both clocked him. Our friends had no idea what was going on, and I think he immediately was like, "Please don't talk to me. Like I'm walking my dog. I don't." And you know, I never want someone to like it's if you're this way, that's totally fine. Like I am not going to stop you on the street and be like, or bother you. I might say like, you know, love your work or something, but I'm not going to be like, oh my God, can I take a selfie with you?
Right.
Because that makes me stressed out.
Yes, same.
Unless I feel like the one exception is when we were at the iHeart Festival. I was like, they're all working.
Yes.
Like it felt like it was okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That was
so I just wanted to add that
tangent
in because I do think that's a part of my lore that people don't know.
I actually forgot about that.
Yeah. That I do have some experience in this world. So anyway, so we kind of put in all of our requests for the event, but to my point before, we also know that, you know, they're having to get approval from Red Bull or all these other things. There's just so many moving parts. Yeah. Everyone's wanting to talk to Max Verstappen. Everyone's wanting to talk to Daniel Ricciardo.
Yeah.
You know, all this stuff is happening. And so we also knew like, we got to just go with the flow and whatever happens, and kind of be prepared for any scenario, and also know that a lot's going to probably change last minute and we're going to have to be able to pivot on the fly or whatever. Okay. So anyway, we fly into Detroit on Tuesday morning, and Tuesday was basically the day that we went to the Ford headquarters in Dearborn, Michigan, and got a tour of lots of different parts of the headquarters, and basically had like the two big presentations of the day was them sharing with us the new Mustang Dark Horse. Yep.
Super cool.
First, yes. Or is it so cool? I don't remember what he said, but
James.
Watch James Coker's video on the car, and then also the new Bronco that's going to be coming out. And this is also kind of when we got to meet other people on the trip. A lot of our friends were there, people we already knew, and then, you know, obviously new people too. And we said this before, that what we love so much about this Ford event specifically is that, I mean, and because Ford touches so many different parts of motorsport, that it really brings together people from like all different kinds of motorsport backgrounds. People who are just extreme gearheads, love the car. I mean, we were doing the whole Dark Horse presentation, and I mean, it's like a beautiful car.
Yeah.
And people are asking about, I can't even
Torque
remember what they're asking, but just like specifics of the car.
Color is nice.
And I'm just like, wow, these people are so knowledgeable about this stuff that we just do not have any knowledge of at all. But then, you know, they'll ask us what we do, and we're like, oh, we have an F1 podcast, you know, and they're like, oh, I don't even know like anything about F1, you know, and so it's just cool that it brings. And then there's people who are like just do tech stuff, or I don't know. I just think that's cool, and it's like very cool to meet. I think the F1 bubble can feel kind of small sometimes. Like we all kind of know each other. That's fun to kind of get out of that bubble and meet people who do other types of things in the space.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have anything else to add from that.
No, it's cool. I mean,
the
the one thing that was like wild is the room where they presented the Mustang to us. It's like we go in, it looks like something out of the Avengers or something. It's like this really cool boardroom. There's screens everywhere. And then they're kind of going over the car, whatever. And then they're like, so we now, you know, want to present you with the new Dark Horse SC. And I'm kind of in the back. My back is actually facing the wall, and because I'm watching a screen in front of me. And the guy who's talking is pointing behind me, but there's screens all over the room. So I just was assuming he was like gesturing towards the screen, he could see whatever. And then Zoe looks at me and she goes, turn around. And literally the back wall turns into clear windows. And it's like this massive showroom where the freaking car is on like a rotating. I was just the craziest. I was like, we're in an office. Like, what's going on? It was really cool. Yeah. So the office, that was crazy.
Yeah. And it's just, again, it's so interesting. And again, so out of our wheelhouse of just these people, you know, we're hearing from people who are making these cars and who put all their time and energy into like every nook and cranny of this vehicle and like the colors and everything. And I'm just like, wow, this is so
like they have
cool.
They have people on the different teams for the different like car projects that are their sole responsibility is the materials and the colors of the car.
Yeah.
Never occurred to me that would be a job. Not a good job I would be good at, I don't think, but very cool.
Yeah, and and they spend so much, you know, it's so much intention behind every decision and why they pick certain colors and why it was very, it's just, I always think it's very cool to see people who are so good at what they do, like making something and creating something and then getting to share that with people. Like that's always awesome. Then we went that evening so the Detroit Auto Show was also happening the same week as well. And so we got to the auto show on Tuesday night for like that's actually where they were presenting the Bronco to the public. And also they were announcing the Carhartt Ford partnership, which is cool. And that's where we ran into a lot more of our friends, and we had the whole trailgating. So they basically had all these Ford vehicles that they opened like the backs of the car, and then that's what they serve like the food out of. So they had various drinks and snacks and stuff, kind of like you could get them from the backs of the car, which was a good idea. That was a smart, fun. And they had like hot dogs and what do they call them? The taco.
Oh, the walking tacos.
Walking tacos and like the chip bags and stuff. We filmed a video that I don't know is ever going to see the light of day.
I really hope it does.
But there was this like trailgating video that they wanted us to film. So it was like us and Track Talk and Neha.
Ford filmed it.
Ford filmed it.
So that's why we don't know if it'll.
And James Coker starred in it. And it was just quite hilarious. I hope someone gets the footage, and I hope we're able to share that at some point because it was hilarious. It was very, very funny. Okay, so next day is Wednesday. This is the, as I mentioned, the auto show day. Hannah and I both worked on this day as well. We had to, get back to the full-time job grind. And this is also the day that we get a confirmation as to who we're going to talk to. Okay, so this is the day that we find out that we are going to have time with Arvid, time with Frankie Muniz, and time with Daniel Ricciardo. And we were told, okay, you're going to get 10 minutes with him. And we were both,
which was like way more time than I thought we would get.
And we were both just like, oh my God, this is, of course, dream come true. How are we ever going to like prepare ourselves for this kind of moment? And I have to say, because we did get some questions from people asking like, oh my God, how did you guys keep this a secret? And the truth is we didn't know it was happening until about 24 hours before it actually happened.
Yeah. And I didn't, even though we had like kind of an inkling that it would work itself out, I didn't want to also say we were going to and then not be able to.
Yes, you just never know what's going to happen.
Yeah. But it was just so much more fun for everyone, ourselves included.
Yeah, so we didn't really know it was going to happen until about 24 hours beforehand. So then the next day, Thursday, is the day of the season launch party and all that stuff. We go back to the Ford headquarters. We got information about the Red Bull Ford powertrains. We got to see every little bit and part that goes into it, which was very cool. They did this, I think they did it during the launch as well. Basically this like VR situation where you can like look inside of the engine and kind of like see every single part. And
definitely check out our friends Neha and Dev for more information on those, because it all went right over my head.
Yes, I think Ash as well made a good video about it. Yeah, there are people way more qualified to us to talk about the engine and the parts that go into an engine.
Yeah,
but obviously very cool to learn about
water stuff.
Yeah, and again, it's such a. I actually saw this video. It doesn't matter where, but we're talking about like your gift is what comes easy to you, but is hard for other people. And like, that's kind of what, you should focus on, like as what you should spread to the world. And in watching all these things, or like hearing people that, like engineers or whatever, I'm like, wow, this is like this is their gift and like, and so not my gift.
Like
and
they speak a language I do not understand.
And it's just so incredible. Like, wow, these people can make these things that I would have no idea where to even begin. But, you know, can they make a podcast? Like, probably, but
I don't know if it would be as funny.
Yeah, that's a good point. So and then we got to hear more about about their WEC initiatives for 2027. We got the news that Logan Sargent is going to be a part of Ford's team, which is very cool. Happy for Logan. So, you know, maybe Le Mans is on the cards for us in 2020. You know, that should be like
27.
The next, yeah, 27. That should be our next big adventure. Okay, so then, you know, it's time to get ready for the event. And so we had to get over there kind of early because we also had the news that we were going to get time with Max Verstappen, a meet and greet opportunity with Max Verstappen.
A photo op, really.
A photo op with Max Verstappen.
Max doesn't know our names.
No. But still, I mean, like, incredible experience.
But it was very nice of him to do. We know how much he prefers to not do media stuff. So.
Yeah, so we get up there and, well, why don't you kind of explain the room that and I should also say too, like, we were considered media for this whole event. And so that I'm sure people follow lots of different influencers, creators who were on this or who went to Detroit, and everyone was kind of like, not everyone, but lots of people were with different groups or people.
Like teams from Ford. So like if you saw, Tiggy's content or Tasha's content, like they were with Red Bull USA, like the cans, from my understanding. Yes. And then we were with Ford as like the media, and then there was like a Ford influencer group. So yeah, it was just funny because we were all like, oh, I can't wait to see you in Detroit. What are you wearing? And then we get there and realize that like, oh, we're in completely different groups, like different schedules. I hope
different responsibilities.
Yeah, I was like, they said everything's casual, but like, anyway, doesn't matter. So everything was at Central Station, which is their Detroit's, I think, it's not an active train station anymore, but that's where the launch was that Dak Shepard was hosting. But before that, upstairs, they had lots of different media going on. So the room we were in, it was just kind of like a really long room, and they had a couple step and repeats set up for media interviews, and then there was a couple small like the room that we interviewed Daniel in, what wasn't like fully enclosed. It was kind of used like pipe and drape, which are just like, you know, curtains or whatever, to set up these like makeshift little hospitality rooms. And so that's where they kind of had us line up and did, Max came in and we took pictures with him. He was very nice. Again, it was, I mean, basically what you have seen online is about us, like the extent that
So we all get lined up, right? And basically everybody is an individual creator or something. But then Hannah and I were last but not least, obviously. And then Track Talk was before us. So the last two groups were, you know, two people at a time, I suppose. And so, and it was, we were also like, this is why I love going on trips with like other creators, because everyone just like understands the need for content. Like it's so
lots of B-roll.
It's so different when we go on trips with like our friends who don't, because it's just no one's thinking about content, pictures, and getting, you know, capturing the moment, but everybody is just like locked in. And so I think it was Ash, right? She was like, I'm gonna like hold the phone, and then as we go, we're gonna pass the phone back, recording, so that everybody can get content, you know, of themselves.
And Dev had her tripod set up to like constantly be getting
yes. So
lots of angles.
So Track Talk goes first, and it clearly caught Max off guard because, again, up to that point, it was all just individual people. And so I can't remember if
he goes, "Oh, two of you." It was very funny,
or something like that. Yeah. So then they go, and then we walk over, and I'm like, "Hi, Max," and he just goes, "Hello," and then take the picture, and then I'm like, "Thank you, Max," and he just like looks at me, and he goes, "You're welcome." Which like shouldn't be funny, but like
it was,
but obviously like great manners, you know?
Yeah, nice.
Thank you, Max.
Yeah, and we were joking like as we were walking in down the hallway, I just said like, man, an F1 driver hates to see this group coming, because it was like what, 8 of us girls, just
even
like
more, I think,
gabbing, and I don't know, it's just funny. And then when we were in the room lined up, and I was like, God, Max just has to walk into this room. That's gotta stop.
He's like, here we go.
But he was very kind. It was all very nice.
And again, like this is a thing where it's like he understands.
Yeah.
This is what I'm doing media. I have to do interviews. It's like,
I don't think he was really put out by it.
No,
but
he was not put out by it.
Sometimes I'm just like, I'm so sorry you have to do this, but thank you so much for being here.
Exactly.
Thank you for being here today.
Exactly. So then I think like around 5-ish is kind of when all the interviews start happening. And again, this is not just, well, I guess they happen a bit before too, but most of them kind of started around 5. And this is not just obviously the Red Bull drivers, the V-Carb drivers. This is the NASCAR drivers. This is the
new WEC driver.
I mean, this is Frankie Muniz. Everyone that's kind of associated with Ford, they're all doing their interviews in this space at the same time. So there's lots of media. And again, it's not just creators, it's print media.
Yeah, I think GQ is there.
Yeah, lots of other people were there doing all these interviews. And so some people were doing interviews on the step and repeat section, which is more like that's where you talk to Frankie. It's where I talk to Arvid. Kind of more of just like the quick fire, like 5 minutes or less, just like, easy peasy. There were some couches kind of set up where like, we also helped each other film. So I helped Neha film some stuff. I know you helped Dev film some stuff. So Neha filmed with Logan Sargent, like on one of the couches. So everyone just kind of, and it is, I mean, it's like a Tetris situation because all the 4 people, they have all their calendar or their schedules, and it's like, okay, so we've got, this person with this person at 5:50, and then they got to go here, and then someone else has to come here, and you're in this room, and you're standing here, and you're over here.
And they're also like all the drivers and stuff were coming from previous engagements, so some of them were like a little delayed just because whatever they were in before ran long, and so then that kind of pushed everything.
Yes.
And it was like really both fascinating and like really overwhelming watching it all.
Yeah, it was incredible. I mean, and just I feel like I need to say this now and I'll say it again, but just massive shout out to the people who work for Ford.
Yeah.
Like genuinely so nice, so kind, always there to like help and try to make it as easy for us as possible, as best for us as possible.
Yeah.
Just kept their cool. Like I cannot imagine how stressful that whole week would have been if you worked. I mean, just you're dealing with so many things, and they were all just fun and like accommodating.
Yeah, I mean, primarily the people we worked with, the closest were Georgia, Dan, and Megan, and our champions. Like they're fantastic. I really can't. I mean, I can never say enough good things about the Ford team. They're just really so helpful. And actually, like on the last night, I saw one of the girls, and I could tell she was probably sitting with her boss, and I was just like, I'm just going to go up and remind her and thank her again. And she was like, well, thank you so much for saying this. This is our boss. I said, I had a feeling, and your team's fantastic.
Yeah, seriously, genuinely just A+. And also we were saying this too, it's being in this F1 world for a while. I think we all kind of, if you are a creator or media of any kind working within F1, it's very challenging to be a podcaster or a creator and be considered media with F1 as a whole, and then also various teams and sponsors and whatever. And Ford being able, having, I don't know, just it's very, very cool that they said, we are going to bring a group of creators and podcasters and give them media access to get to talk to people and make content. And it means a lot that they trust us with that, and we're just very grateful for that. So, all right, let's get to the Daniel of it all. Yeah. Okay. So if I remember correctly, I think we were supposed to be with him from 6 to 6:10, right?
Correct.
Okay. So 6 to 6:10 was our time with Daniel. And then we had a bit of a break. We were actually supposed to see Jim Farley in between. And then I was supposed to talk to Arvid at 6:20. So again, as we mentioned before, everything is very much like, it's like a big
like flight
puzzle.
Connections. It's like you have to, this thing has to happen before this thing can happen, but there's going to be delays because other people are being delayed. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
It's like connecting in Atlanta. You have 30 minutes and God help you if something goes wrong.
Yes, exactly. So, so we get into the room, we're going to interview Daniel, and, we're kind of arranging it, getting it prepped. Our friend Neha was like, I will be here for you guys to take some B-roll footage, just, for content purposes. Like, great, thank you. So we get all set up, and it's like, 6:03, 6:05, 6:06. And at this point, Neha had to interview Arvid and Liam. And so she's like, okay, I'm going to go interview them. But hopefully by the time I get done with that, you'll still be in the Daniel thing. I'll come back. I'll get some content at the end. Like, great. Okay.
And meanwhile, just for like BTS, I am like, I cannot sit still.
Oh,
because I wasn't, we talked about this.
I
wasn't like nervous, butterflies in my stomach, nauseous. I think it was just like the anxiety of like, this is such a big moment for both of us. Like my chest just felt kind of tight and I was like, I don't think I'm having a heart attack or anything, but it was just I knew the minute he walked in and we sat down, everything was going to go well and like be fun and fine. Cause again, I have that thing, like what you said is you can kind of just shut off the fangirl part for a second and like just lock in. But I was just like, he just needs to walk in the room. And it's the waiting for him to walk in the room that's like giving me anxiety.
Yes. I'm happy you brought that up because I did not have butterflies in my stomach. I wasn't nervous. I wasn't like, oh, I hope this is going to go well or what's he going to be like or whatever. I was like, in a weird way, I was pretty calm and relaxed. But to your point, my chest was heavy. And I don't know what that was. But it was just like this, ultimate, like, just
like an, oh my God.
Anticipation. And just like I cannot believe the realization of like what we've been working for. It's like, this is going to actually happen.
Yeah.
So we're kind of sitting there and I don't know exactly when he walked in, but it was maybe like 10 minutes and he was coming from something, and again, we like, it just is how it is. Like everyone's coming from something else and it's chaotic and it's like, so anyway, he comes in.
I'm just glad we didn't really have anything before that. So like we weren't like, because it was nice to be able, because the room we were in was set up like a hospitality room. So the chairs that you saw us in were like, there was 2 next to each other and then another 2 across. So we kind of had to like rearrange the room and then set the camera up. And I was just glad that we didn't have to like do that while he was there. Yeah. That would have, you know what I mean? I mean, because then it's like, well, we were eating into our time with you. Like we just kind of have to start and get going. Right. So I was very grateful for that.
And of course we were smart enough to turn on the camera before he walks in. So we got some, pre-interview and he walks in, I go over, I'm like, hi Daniel, I'm Zoe, and we were saying this too. I don't know if it was like taught behavior for him or it's just how he is, but he's very good about being like, hi Zoe, nice to meet you. Like repeating your name back to you, that doesn't sound like anything special, but you'd be surprised at people that not like in this, but just in general, like not everyone does that and is like,
I mean, I don't do
intentional about
not all the time
repeating it back to you. And this is the theme throughout the entire time, but really like he's not someone that's like, all right, let's just get this, let's just do this. Like he comes in, he's just like, he first goes over to the table where there's like food and drinks and he thought it was beer or something.
Yes, because it was water, but it was in an aluminum bottle, which does look like the twist, the beer. And he was like, oh man, I was hoping this was beer. And I was like, same, to be fair. And then he like took a sip of it and he was like, I think he said like, I didn't know if it was going to be sparkling or not. Anyway, I think he was just mostly just bummed it wasn't beer, which was totally fair. Cause at that point I was just like, it would have been nice to have something to like, not that he was nervous, but
he was,
for me,
he was stressed talking to fan behavior. Like it was
a big moment for him.
It was a huge moment for him. So he's just like casually walking in. We're kind of making small talk. He's talking about how they went drifting or something,
like in a neighborhood.
But in my mind I'm clocking, because again I kind of know how this stuff goes, like he's already a bit late, we're already cutting into the other time he's supposed to have with some other person, probably we're on the clock, like this sort of casual conversation is like, this is our time, so I'm like, okay, here's your mic, Daniel, like let's just and his team is kind of standing by the entrance and like, okay, let's go. So we start the interview, and we obviously not going to give away what we talk about. But start the interview, and I guess people know that we mentioned like you're a dream interview, and we can retire the podcast, and then he brings it back later. But so we get about, so we had about maybe 6 questions that we wanted to ask him. And then we had our Fan 5 game thing that we wanted to do at the end. And we get through about 3 of the questions. And I see one of his team has given me the wrap up signal. And I'm like, shit. Because I'm like, we still have these questions. And a part of me is like, I kind of wish I would have known ahead of time that our time was going to be cut short.
It wasn't though. We still had 10 minutes with him. It's just, we didn't have 10 minutes. That's the thing that is also we will figure this out. But like we planned for 10 minutes of speaking, but we had 10 minutes in the room with him.
I know.
And that was, I mean, you know.
Listen, and I also, you know, of course, since the interviews happened, I'm like replaying everything, like, oh, I should have said this or should have done that or should have asked this question or should have acted this way, or, you know, I'm like, because of course this is so monumental for us and for me, and I'm thinking the second he left the room, I mean, he of course I think would remember who we are, but he is not like replaying anything in his head. But so we so we get through about half of them, and then I'm like, okay, time's up. So then I wanted us to get to the fan 5 part of it, and the thing with Daniel, which I love about him, but yeah, if he had the choice, I think he would have sat with us for 30 minutes. I think he would have talked to us. So he's like taking his time to answer every question, giving a thoughtful answer.
Yeah, I mean, it was rapid fire and he was not rapid, which was fun. Like, I mean,
said to him, I was like, Daniel, it's your gut instinct. Like, you know.
You snapped at the man.
I did.
She was like,
I did. I literally snapped.
Excuse me, let's not snap at the Daniel Ricciardo.
But you know, you got to keep it fun.
Yeah.
No, because he really was like, like, and I'm just like, again, our time is precious with you. I was gonna say, so because some people ask, like, what did you not get to ask him that you would have liked a chance to ask him? And so, like, one of our few questions at the end was about F1 Academy, and we never got to ask him about like the Enchante. And I really wanted to talk to him about that, because I wanted to mention to him that we were on we did the F1 Academy grid walk in Miami.
Oh yeah.
And we made a point to like go over to the car. I think that would have been a fun like antidote to share with him.
Yeah.
Which I wish he would have gotten a chance to say that, and just how cool it is to see his partnership there. And
we did tell him how much we had invested in Enchante, and he said, "Oh, it sounds like you guys are keeping it alive."
Yeah, no spoilers, but and then I wanted to ask him, because he had mentioned last year about having the itch to do Baja, and I wanted to ask him about it again. Didn't get a chance to, but again, like, it is what it is. I'm glad. I'm happy we did the fan 5, because I'm glad we got some good bits from that.
Yeah.
And thankfully Neha comes in at the end. Got some B-roll footage, and so we, you know, wrap it up, and then he was like, so if we do ask him, we're not going to give any spoilers. Of course, we asked him, you know, favorite book.
Yeah.
And at the end, after we finished the interview, I like asking him if we can take a picture, and he's like, I was on the plane here, and there was this girl like a row in front of me or something, and she was reading the entire 3 hours, and he's like, I just wish I could do that. And I think I was like, you like, you can, or it can be you if you want it to be. Like, you can find a book to read. That's the other thing. I would have loved to have been like, what kind of books are you interested? Like, let's give you some book recs.
Let's get you a Kindle.
Yeah, like we're here to
But
help.
also, I hope that girl is doing well and knows that Daniel Ricciardo.
Yeah, she probably doesn't even know who he is.
I know.
And I'm curious what book she was reading.
Me too.
So again, just another point is, like, even after it's over, he still like
Chatty,
wants to have the conversation. You know, we take the picture.
And then this was, you know, I always have to have at least one moment that I'll think about as I'm going to sleep for the rest of my life.
We're all doing this.
So at the end, he like, you know, shakes our hand. And this is in the clip that we've shared. I did not know he was going in to shake my hand, guys. And it was like the weakest, lamest handshake I've ever given in my life. It was so embarrassing. And I almost asked if I could just do it again, but I didn't want to take more of his time.
My thing that I keep coming back to is and again, I just want to reiterate, like, but basically from the moment we got the wrap up signal, I go into like, not panic mode,
Virgo
but just
mode.
kind of like, it kind of threw me off. Not in a bad way, but just kind of like, oh my gosh, like
you couldn't just like settle into the conversation.
Exactly. Yeah. I just felt a little bit sped up, or a little bit like just a little, we're taking into his time. Like, we're going to not get in trouble. I didn't think we were going to get in trouble, but just, I don't know. So I wish at the end I also would have said or reiterated again, like, it really means so much to us that we talk. Like, I didn't get to have that other, I felt kind of like, I got to get out of this room.
And so we also, you've said this in the comments, but like, he did not say Enchante.
Thank you for bringing that up.
But you guys, it's because we're going to have another long form interview with him, and it's going to be fun.
Yes. Thank you for bringing that up, because I forgot to mention
manifestation. There's nothing confirmed yet.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. So even before the interview even happened, I was kind of like, do I bring up the Enchante of it all? Mostly just because I don't know. Maybe this is me just like really overthinking everything, but I'm also in my mind, I'm like, we have towed this line between being like fangirls and also then not now being like sort of professional people who are considered media who are there on behalf of Ford Racing. And I'm always trying to like toe that balance between like making it known that we are such big fans, but then also like recognizing that, you know, there's not a professionalism that we have to have, but like
a little bit.
But yeah, and like this is a big deal for us.
Yeah, we want to be invited back.
Yes, exactly. And also hope that like he has a good time or his team appreciates the interview and that they then give, you know, he does more of these types of things with other people going forward. And so I'm like, is he? And I'm just kind of in my mind, how would he take us sharing the story of us saying Enchante? Is it going to be like, oh God, that's a little like fan behavior, you know, vibes?
On brand.
Yeah, exactly. But the biggest thing is I knew it would require a good amount of backstory. That we would have to really give the backstory and how we just kind of did it randomly one day and then it just stuck around and we make our you know, there's a whole thing to it. And so when we, you know, kind of knew we had to hurry up and finish the podcast, or the episode or the interview, I knew we wouldn't have the time to give the backstory. And so I just thought, okay, we're going to save this for a different day. And yes, we're going to manifest. So if anyone from Ford Racing is listening to this, I don't know what Daniel's like year schedule looks like in terms of what his like duties are as a Ford ambassador. But I have to imagine there are some other things that he does over the course of the year that maybe aren't as like chaotic or busy as obviously the Ford season launch. Like I have to imagine this is probably the most like intense event of the year for the team and also for someone like him.
Yeah.
So if there's anything, and I, you know, you might not like me saying this, but anywhere in the world, I will pay my own way there. Like I would prefer to not, but I will literally pay my own way
how
there.
You manifest something.
I will do whatever. Well, just so that they know how much it matters to me. If we can get like half an hour to like an hour interview with him to really,
you want to fly halfway across the world for half an hour?
100%, I would do that. Yes, I would. Also because he's probably in a cool place anyway, so it's like I'll take a vacation too. Yes, without question. And we can actually, because there's so many things I want to talk to him about.
Yeah,
so many things I want to ask him about. And yeah, just like I would love to do a whole episode. Like this sounds maybe not interesting for some people, but I would love to do a whole episode like on Enchante.
Yeah,
like
same.
I want to know more about the brand. I didn't get to ask him his favorite collection. I'm curious about that.
Well, and just like how each like drop is curated and created, and like what the manufacturing process look like who are your vendors or suppliers? How do you pick? More
about the F1 Academy of it all. Dream collaborations in the future. Like just,
do you need more people on your PR list?
Yeah, or just like to work for you in general. And yeah, so there's, I would love to
I would do that too.
I would love to have more. Yeah, this is just interview one.
Yeah, I know.
This is just like the appetizer, and we're heading our way towards the main
cocktail
course.
Hour.
It's cocktail hour. And yeah, we're gonna get that longer form interview. And that'll be great. We can share more of our personality and just gab and whatever. He did. So Neha comes in, obviously takes our picture with him, and then she talks to him about some football. I did say to him, I was like, I hope you, or I think I was like, I didn't want to tell you this during the interview because I didn't want you to like walk out, but like we're Chiefs fans. We're from Kansas City. He didn't seem like, he wasn't like, oh God, like, he was, even though like we've basically ruined his life multiple years in a row.
We did nothing.
Yeah. Chiefs did.
Yeah.
And he was like, I was going to ask where you guys were from. I was like, in my mind, I mean, he is, I believe, so genuine in asking that. But in my mind, I'm like, why do you care where the hell we're from? You know what I mean? Like,
I thought it was nice.
It is nice. It's so nice. And I believe it's so genuine.
Yeah,
but just the point is not everybody cares. Like, that's what makes him so special is that he actually is interested where we're from.
Totally.
And I had to tell him, he didn't know that the Broncos and the Chiefs are rivals, so I had to tell him that we didn't want the Broncos to win, but I think that and then of course the callback of happy I was on the last episode of the podcast.
Don't worry guys, it's not the last episode.
Yeah, but that was again, it just kind of he he brings it back.
He's very
He's
good.
dialed in. Yeah. Said goodbye, and then we walk out of the room and we're like, you guys are with Arvid right now.
Had absolutely no time to process anything.
Yeah.
And I was so like, because we had to basically run over there, set everything up again, like whatever, that for the first minute Zoe was talking to Arvid, I did not hit record.
Yeah, it's
which
okay.
I'm pretty upset.
But we
I know
have
it
a
is,
lot
but-
of good. So we're gonna. If I haven't shared this already, which I don't think I will before this comes out, but like, we talked to Arvid about his favorite, what F1 track he's most looking forward to racing at this year. We do F1 driver most likely to, which was fun. And then we also did the Fan 5 with him. So we have some good clips coming of our time with Arvid. He is a delightful human. He is so sweet. He's just like, I cannot believe that he is 18 years old. I mean, genuinely, it makes me sound old saying that.
Well, there is something very, I mean, I know people have been making the comparison online, but there is something very similar about his personality to Daniel and just his like professionalism. I just feel like he was very dialed in and like present.
Very, very present, very thoughtful. He like, even apologized to me because he was like, sorry, that was a long answer. I was like, you do not have to apologize. Like you say whatever you want to say. Yeah. So he was just great. And we had some funny banter when the camera stopped rolling, which was funny. I won't spoil it because it's part of the Fan 5 interview, but safe to say drivers do read. We do know some drivers that have read books,
or at least we know they can.
Yeah. Arvid definitely
was,
he's
adamant.
Yes, he's adamant.
Yeah.
And then Hannah interviewed Frankie, which was great.
Yeah, that was great. He's genuinely so nice. He remembered ish, I think.
He did.
Yeah.
He did.
He was like, don't you mean Charlotte? And I was like, no, I was too. He was like, oh, you were scared to go in Charlotte. I was like, yeah. And he was like, oh, in Vegas, like for F1 race. He was picturing the NASCAR track for Vegas. And then I can explain it after the clip comes out. But we had a funny little, like, I misunderstood something he was saying. And so I was like, I'm not really sure what that is. And then when he answered, I was like, oh, I love that. And he was like, okay, but you don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway, it was
good.
Funny.
He was just always so nice.
He really is. He's very, very good. I mean, I think someone who's like, I'm just really impressed because the child actor stereotype is just so, has been proven often. And I just feel like he's just very warm and open and very kind and yeah.
Yes, 100%.
Delight.
A delightful person. Cannot say better things. And we took a group photo with Frankie, which was really funny with everybody. And at that point, and I think it was right before you interviewed Frankie, was when we dropped the picture of us with Daniel, because that was basically the one thing that we could share. We were allowed to share at that point. And we were just overcome by the amount of comments that you guys sent in. Like, it was like, oh my God, it's only been up for whatever, it's been 15 minutes and already X amount of comments. And it was so fun, obviously, to do it and to like have that experience, but then to get to share that with all of you guys. And just like, we just knew, and we even said this, like, I think when we first talked about wanting to interview Daniel, was like, our audience is gonna like
freak out,
lose their minds. Like, this is genuinely, you guys have been on the journey. I mean, we were sitting here whenever this was, September 2024. Well, me particularly, like,
crying,
sobbing my eyes out because of his last race and being like, oh. And not that everything is about us, but like, would we have gotten the chance to talk to him if he was a Red Bull driver?
I don't know.
Like, I don't think, because we didn't get to talk to Isaac or Max, you know what I mean? So it's like I think in terms of our trajectory, it was like it all worked out, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. And I know it's like so cliche for us to say, but we literally wouldn't have been able to do it without you guys and your support and your dedication to the pod. So
and
thank
honestly,
you.
like, I have no idea if, like, I mean, we do know some people from Ford who do see our content, see like what you guys say. I don't know if anyone from like Daniel's team will ever see like the content or like but I have to imagine that if they did look at that picture and they saw how many people were like so happy, I have to imagine they think, oh, I'm really glad that he got the time to be with those two girls, because I think it's, I don't know if like the GQ France or the people are like as oh my God,
Yeah.
as the fan behavior listeners are.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's just a hunch I have.
Which is a specific audience.
Yeah,
you know?
very
We have a
specific
very
audience.
specific audience.
Yeah. So I don't really, and then obviously we go to the actual event and see the livery launches. What do you think of the livery?
I really like it, actually. I was, to be totally honest, I was a little nervous when I saw the team kits first. I like that blue color, but I like for me, I've always liked the navy on the Red Bull, like just how like sleek and clean it looks. So I was nervous that a lot of that like Ford blue would be in there, which to be, as I've said, is like one of my favorite colors. It's a fan behavior color, but I really liked it. And I really like the V-carb livery too. I think they look great.
Yeah. I love the Red Bull livery. I love how the blue's brought in. I love that it's shiny and not matte. I think that's like an awesome change.
Max seems thrilled by it, which is
thrilled.
Funny.
He showed his ass, as he said.
Nicole Briscoe being a presenter was wild.
That was so funny.
Yeah.
And then also seeing the 3 on the Red Bull again.
I'm excited.
Like, oh wow, that was
also
something.
I know he can be a polarizing person and I understand that, but I'm really hopeful that Dax's presence means that we might be getting either a second Daniel interview on Armchair or potentially a Max interview. I'm in no way do I actually think that there's a Max interview coming.
It would be amazing if he could get Max.
I know.
I mean, so
just
interesting.
Seems wildly unlikely.
I know,
especially because of like how Dax likes to kind of go deep into childhood. Max isn't going to talk about his dad for an hour and a half.
Yeah,
but
I know.
We'll see.
I'm trying to think of who would be the best F1 driver right now to go on Armchair.
Lando could be interesting.
Maybe like Charles Leclerc.
Yeah,
could be kind of I feel like he's pretty open with his life, and
he did Jay Shetty's like long form thing.
Yeah. Lewis would be amazing. Yeah, I don't know if he would do it, but he also did Jay Shetty's podcast too.
It's different.
It is different.
Jay Shetty and Dax have a different vibe.
Yeah. Alex Albon, newly engaged. Alex Albon.
Yeah, congrats.
So, I mean, just a week full of just amazing news. And it's also not lost on us. So I think I don't know if I said this on the podcast, but I have on social media. So people know that Hannah and I met studying abroad back in 2014, bonded over One Direction. And then we go to our first 1D concert together in London, June 8th, 2014. Just so happened to also be the very same day that Daniel gets his first win in Formula One. Fast forward, 12 years later, almost 12 years later, and we interviewed Daniel Ricciardo on the day that Harry Styles announces his new album after years off. Coincidence, perhaps, but
didn't
it is
our first
significant.
podcast episode come out on the 8th too? Didn't you say something like that happened?
I don't remember if it was that day.
Weird.
But,
maybe it was just the Daniel thing.
So it all kind of is there's just weird parallels, and it all kind of just comes back around.
Kismet.
It is all very kismet. So yeah, I mean, I don't really know what else to say other than like our dreams literally came true. Like when people say dreams come true, it's like, is a dream come true? But like this genuinely a dream come true. And I was thinking about this too. Like I would watch the Oscars or something, growing up or even now, and when people win like they go on stage and they're like, oh my God, this is a dream come true. Or I've been thinking about this, since I was 10 and I first went to this movie and blah, 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 blah. And like, I was thinking about that with me and I'm like, I don't know that I've ever had like a dream like that. Like there's things obviously that I've wanted to achieve in my life, but goals, but they've always felt very like, oh, I'm going to move to New York. Okay. Well, that didn't seem, that's like a thing I want to do, but it's not.
It's also attainable. You can do the things required to make it happen.
Exactly.
And like obviously we've done the work, but it was always going to require stuff outside of our control to get an interview with Daniel.
Yes. And so I think just starting up our podcast and genuinely starting it from the ground, like we had no one listening to our podcast.
Yeah.
It was like this was our dream from the beginning, and we just like wanted it to happen, and we met the right people along the way who championed us, and like we saw our friend Alice from Pepe Jeans, which was great to see her, but like she's like one of the very first people to actually
a conduit or
take a chance on us and like introduce us to people who then helped us get to where we are, and like
literally introduce us to the Ford team
and all the people that work at Ford who again like it's also too like they saw the vision, they understood like what the ultimate goal is. Where sometimes I don't feel like people like get us really, especially in the F1 space. It's like, okay, these girls like, and we are like, we're not your traditional podcast, but the girls that get it.
Yeah.
And it's not just girls, but like it does kind of feel that way. And you know, it just felt very. So having us interview Daniel, it felt kind of like our Oscars moment. It's like, oh, this was like the dream realized in some way, shape, or form. So shout out to Ford Racing.
Shout out.
Like you guys made it happen. Interview with Daniel, I think will come out. I don't know exactly when this week because I haven't edited it yet, but just, you know, I'm sure I'll post like on Instagram, oh, it's coming out tomorrow, or you can just be surprised. It's just going to be on YouTube only. And it's probably, just so you have a good sense, it's probably like a 7-minute interview. It's not super long, but you know,
worth your time
for sure. Okay, let's just get through some of these questions you guys asked. Unless there's anything else I'm forgetting.
I don't think so. Okay.
Okay. So obviously I posted this on social media, but everyone asked us how he smelled.
I didn't even think about that.
No, I didn't.
I mean, not bad.
Yeah, not bad, but didn't smell. I
Yeah.
didn't cross my mind once.
Yeah.
So sorry, we don't have anything
Well,
to say.
because I feel like if he was wearing a cologne of some kind that was like strong, we would have like clocked it.
Yeah.
I don't know. We also, it's not like we hugged or anything. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't recall.
Did you cry? We didn't cry afterwards. Like we didn't cry. Like we were like obviously super excited and like, oh my gosh, afterwards, but it wasn't until that eve. And for me, it wasn't until we were getting just how happy people were for us.
Yeah.
That was what made me the most emotional. Cause I was like, it is like, we have people in our live, like we follow people, podcasters, whoever, who like we love, and if they ever got to do or get to do things that we know how much it would mean to them, it's like, oh, that's so cool, you know. And to think that
like when you came at Jason Statham,
yes, exactly. But to think that anyone would feel that way about us is just like, what?
Yeah,
like that's just so crazy.
Yeah,
you know?
And I got a little misty eyed at the video that you made with like the Max and the Daniel and the hairstyle song. Yeah, like that made me like because I think because we kept moving so quickly from thing to thing, like I did not really process what the hell was going on.
Yeah. It still doesn't like
it
settling. Still doesn't like my background is obviously, I can show the camera. It's of this picture of us, whatever, screenshot. And I'll like look at my phone sometimes. I'm like,
wait, that's
oh my
me.
God.
Yeah.
Like, he talked to us like
for 7 minutes,
longer than that. Yeah. And that's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy.
It was amazing.
Okay, what was it like breathing the same air as Max and Daniel? Pretty cool.
Yeah, they were just couldn't have been more lovely. Simply lovely.
Was Daniel really as kind as he seemed?
Yes.
1,000%.
And like wildly good. I mean, he's just really, again, like very present. The eye contact is crazy.
Yep.
I mean, he's just really
very present,
very personable too. Like I don't think it's an act. Like he's just really good at that part of his job. Yes. And I think it's not because it's part of his job. I mean, he's obviously had lots of practice, but I just think that's his personality. Like he's just outgoing and kind and Australian, which, you know, he's just great.
Yes, he is definitely as nice as he seems. When did you know you'd be interviewing Daniel Rick? About 24 hours beforehand. Now that you've met and interviewed Daniel, what's the next big dream? Longer interview.
Yeah, I think longer interview with Daniel would be great. And I think just I think I by no means take for granted the opportunities that we've gotten and like, you know, what we've gotten to do. But I do hope in some way this validates us a little bit for the potential for future interviews. Because I think it's interesting. We were kind of talking about this, like, the F1 creator world is so interesting because there's a handful of us who are podcasters first and have a social media presence. And then a lot of our friends are social only. And I think because, I don't know, I think sometimes there's maybe a focus on the social media only because they post a lot more frequently than we do. They have maybe more reach or engagement or whatever the case may be, which is fine. I mean, you know, it's all good. But I do think that this may help, I don't know, just at least maybe put us on the radar of people who haven't seen us before. I mean, I would love for you to have the chance to talk to, I mean, I would love to talk to Lewis too, but like for you to have the chance to talk to Lewis, I mean, it would be amazing if one day we'd be able to talk to Max, but I think really it's just to be able to have more opportunities to talk to more people, whether it's you know, principals or drivers or whatever the case may be.
And I also think too, we were saying this as well. Like, I think podcasters in general kind of not they don't get a bad rap, but I think we were commenting on the fact that like there is something so like personal and like the connection between, I think, people who actually listen to a podcast for an hour a week or whatever is so strong. And like, again, we feel this way about podcasts. We feel like we know those people that we've never met. And it's almost like this deeper connection. Like it very much is. And so I think sometimes, especially for us, you know, we don't have the subscribers or followers that maybe other people have, even though we're trying to get more. But we have such a, again, because of you guys, such a loyal and devoted, consistent following. And I hope that shines through. Like I hope that other people get those types of chances and stuff. And they recognize that like, oh, this, they don't have 100,000 followers, but they have X amount of people who are really devoted and like committed.
And as like lame as the engagement rate on the post that you put up of us with Daniel alone, it just, I think, shows the difference between a podcast audience and like not good or bad for like someone who's a social creator only. It's just, there's a lot more nuance, I think, to a podcaster's presence on social media than, you know, people give podcasters credit for.
That's why, you know, again, credit to Ford for recognizing that and realizing that, and hopefully this, you know, as you said, opens up more doors in the future. I mean, we know Yuki's a part of the Red Bull family. I would love to have a chance to talk to Yuki. I would obviously love to talk to Lewis, as you mentioned, Charles Leclerc. I would love to talk to him, like just more F1 drivers, and just get to talk to them about things that maybe they don't typically talk about, or I don't know, just more interesting. Just
figure out what they're reading.
Yes, exactly. Figure out what they're reading. Could you die happy, or do you still need to meet Charles? I mean, I'd love to have a chance to meet Charles Leclerc. That would be excellent. The question is, if I meet Charles Leclerc, do I tell him about how I saw him in Monaco at the street light, or
maybe,
no?
but like not that because you recognize his arm. I think if it's like you look kind of familiar, it's like, I saw you on the corner once.
Yeah. Years and years and years ago, which was, you know, fantastic. Okay. We'll end with this. I'm curious how you guys prepare for an event like this. So again, we knew that the people we had requested to interview, and so we just basically made questions for everyone. Person that we requested to interview, and then obviously not knowing like how much time we would have if we'd talk to them at all. And then once we figured out like the actual people we get to talk to, we then just kind of like edited down. Okay, we'll ask this question, not this question. You know, that's kind of how we prep for it. Obviously, and I'm sure people know this, but like, you know, going to these types of things, there are things you can talk about, things you can't talk about. So we also kind of knew there would be parameters involved with what we could discuss, which kind of made things easier in some ways. And you just kind of have to be adaptable and going. Yeah. And we also knew, like with every driver, you know, we would have the fan five, which is kind of good. And we had some things that were like, if we did get a chance to talk to so-and-so, like we could just do this thing with them.
Yeah, this one question.
Kind of just general things that we could do. But yeah, just kind of be prepared. And then, you know, when the time comes, you just gotta make it happen.
For it, yeah.
Anything else we want to discuss?
Shout out to Ford.
Shout out to Ford. Shout out to all of you guys for your support. And I'm sure you guys will all do this, but if there are creators that you see that they went to this event, and I'm not, you know, obviously just talking about us, but like, please make sure, and this goes for not just this event, but like anything in the future, like please make sure that you interact with those people's content and like, you know, comment or like or share or whatever, because that really does make a difference for people to get chances in the future and to get
and I saw someone, I think in our comments tag like Ford Racing was just like, thank you so much for letting them do this. Like that goes a long way. And like,
everybody tag in the next clip I share. I don't know when it will be of Daniel. Everyone tag Enchante in the comments.
Oh yeah, please.
And be like, thank you.
Yeah.
These girls should like, I don't know, be brand ambassadors. Like we should have asked. Oh, fuck.
It's okay. It's not going to be the
That's
last
question.
time.
Okay, because I should have been like, you're a Ford brand ambassador. Can we be an Enchante brand ambassador?
No, I think we need him to ask us, you know?
No, that's like we had to pitch ourselves. Like
Okay,
we would like
all
to
right.
be your Enchante.
Well, let's put a deck together for our next interview with him.
Please let us.
Yeah. We're already doing it.
We are already doing it. We're wearing it all the time.
Yeah.
No, it's great. It was an incredible week. We are so internally grateful. We will be back, I think, in 2 weeks. I haven't talked to Hannah about this yet, but stay tuned for our official kind of kickoff to the 2026 F1 season, where we'll do our predictions and stuff. And we'll also kind of share like a new kind of how we're going to be handling this upcoming year in terms of like podcast scheduling. Things are going to change a little bit just to accommodate our lives. But
no panic. We will be here.
The podcast is not ending with the Daniel episode. Maybe that's the someday in the future we will do like he will be our final guest when it's all said and done. But no, it's just, it's not really going to happen. But yeah, thank you guys again for everything. We are so grateful for it. Again, love you.
Forever. I've never been more proud to be a Ford driver. By the way, I came home and like my mom had like put my mail in a pile or whatever. One of the I had like a piece of promo mail for Ford Truck Month, which was awesome.
Stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's good.
I was like, are you serious?
That's good.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, we'll see you next time. Enchante.